Hi, welcome back to the Arcade Repair Tips video series. Today we're going to talk about simply opening up an arcade game. You guys know that if you're going to work on a button or a joystick or you want to clean your monitor or something, well, first thing you got to get in there. And so I want to step over here, and one of the first things I want you guys to do, and try to get in the habit of this when you're first starting to learn to work on games, if you're not sure what all's in there or what you're doing, just turn the game off. So mine has a switch up here. Know where your game switches are. If you don't have an on-off switch, I see hundreds of games that just plug in. I might put an online switch and we'll shoot a video on that if need be. But let's turn the power off, okay? Now you might refer back to some of our video series about opening a lock or replacing a lock, because one part of that, it actually talks about breaking and entering, which is one of my specialties. Oh, I shouldn't mention that. But anyway, what you got to do here is once we get into this coin door, then it's pretty simple. Now, not every game is the same, and if you need help with your specific game, please let us know. But a lot of the classic games, this is a converted cabinet in some type of Centipede or Dig Dug type cabinet, Atari cabinet, and they all operate pretty much the same. So do your Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man. A lot of games do this. There's a latch up in here, and what I got to do first is stick my arm up in there. And you'll notice here kind of the position I'm going to have to get into to do that. So we'll move the chair out of the way. I'm going to stick my arm up in there and simply pop that latch. And then we'll have a latch on the other side too. And now that we've done both of them, we can open it up. And now this one has a bar across here, a level. Sometimes they come all the way off, so just be careful. You might even want to have an extra hand around. Also, be careful when you open this up. Sometimes the glass will try to come down or slide down on you. But now we can get in here and work on our control panel. Now if we want to get into the monitor, look for holes like this where you can slide your fingers in, or sometimes you might have to remove some screws. Sometimes a bar will be across here. But you can get the bezel and the glass off like that a lot of times. Then we can get down. We got a piece of wood here. Then we got another piece of stuff. Pretty common for them to do that. See, then we can get to the monitor area. But just for cleaning purposes or something, sometimes we don't have to do that. But anyway, that's how you would open up the front, get to the coin door, and get to these things. And Jonathan will probably zoom here in a minute, but the way the latch works, it's real simple. After you've done it a couple times, you'll have it down. You just want to get your hand up in there and flick that latch. And it latches up, the hooked part of it latches and pulls tight, kind of like so. I'm putting pressure on there. If you guys can see me, I'm pushing that up, and then it unlatches. Of course, getting into the cabinet from the front will allow you to get to the controls and stuff. But most of the repairs that we do are always going to be in the back of the game. And so what we always want to do, they're pretty standard. You're going to have some kind of back door, like this one. And especially if you go buy one at auction or something, you're going to come across, you're going to not have a key most of the time. So again, refer back to our video about keys and locks, and you can see that we've already drilled out and removed this lock. Another thing that operators were real, and we do a lot, is if they didn't have the key, a lot of times they'll put a screw in. If you see some screws on the side, then you can take those out. It's also a good way to hold a door in you don't have a key for. You can just put a screw right in the side of the game and hold it into that wood. But once that's out, and you can remove the door, now we're talking, we can get in here and get to work. Basically, a lot of people are surprised when they see the inside of an arcade game for the first time. I could pretty much crawl up in there, or at least 10 years ago I could have, and you could shut this back door, and I could hide in there. It's actually a lot more room than you would think. Part of that is built just for air and circulation and all that, but they weren't really thinking about that. They were just thinking about the size of a person and how you play the game, and for looks. So that's why today we play PSPs and little things, right? You don't need all this space, but it's good for us when we go to work on it. We're going to appreciate the space. So anyway, there's very simple parts of the monitor. You got your power coming in. You guys look down here, you'll see the power supply. And then here's the game board. And then of course the monitor. And everything else is wiring. So that's why I want to encourage you guys to work on games that are not very complicated machines. There's just a few things that can go wrong with them. As long as you've got power, as long as your power supply is good, your board is good, and you got a working monitor, then it's probably just a wiring issue or something simple. So the more you get in here, the more you'll know. Everybody knows warning stickers here. Stay away and be careful around that monitor area. Also, you have a transformer down there and lots of areas that could shock you. So, like we talked about before we go in here and start messing around, let's make sure the game is off. If you want to unplug it, that's also a good idea. But anyway, now that we've looked inside this cabinet, we want to see what's wrong with it, at least we know where to start. Another thing I want to point out, you can't see it very good from there, but the test and the service switch are here. And I just want to make mention of that inside that coin door, either on the coin door itself or inside, is your test and your service buttons. That's how you get into your menus and different things that you might need. Also how you test different switches and things. You'll see that a lot of times in your manual. But anyway, so you've got your motherboard power, but also keep in mind that your test and service buttons are probably inside there. And if not, you can always wire up a test button or something. Just about every game is going to require that you use a button or some switch to get into those menus. So good thing to know where it's at in your game in particular. Well, we hope that you've learned something from this video today and from all of our videos. Of course, you guys know if you have any questions or comments, just email us or call us. We'll get back to you just as soon as possible. Also, look forward to future episodes and podcasts coming soon. Again, thank you for watching Arcade Repair Tips video series, now in high def.